Welcome.
Thank you. So excited.
So good to have you. Let me not have my boobs in your face. I always like to start with, what are you wearing? Like, you always look great.
Oh, thanks.
How would you describe your style?
Good question. I think I like a mixture of feminine and masculine, even though that sounds annoying, but I don't like to choose clothes just based on gender, but I think like across things that I find cool.
It's like 2 layers?
It's like 2 layers. It's
really
like
cool.
a blazer that has been covered with this like tulle on top.
Yeah.
So it's funny because everything is underneath, like the pleats and
cool.
everything is under.
Really cool.
And then I'm wearing no shirt, which might be very responsible given the weather, but you're the same. So we're the same.
It's very warm in here.
Yeah, the same team. And then like silver pants. I love silver, and no socks because I refuse to wear socks until it's absolutely necessary. But yeah, I think I love like futuristic stuff. I love things that have structure, and I don't know. I think it sounds like a cliche, but fashion, it is indeed like the easiest way to demonstrate your point of view and
100%.
how you see things.
And your nail style, how would you describe your nail style?
Oh my God.
What do you usually...
I love it because I'm like such a fan. Well, you know this. I'm such a fan of you and Isla, but I'm like naturally a short nail girl. Even though I really love nail art, but I'm naturally a short nail person. I think it's also because I study architecture. We needed to do a lot of things with like our hands.
Yeah.
So long nails were not the way, and there was also like I think a stigma around having long nails for a long time. There was like
100%.
If you're a smart woman. Well, you shouldn't care so much.
I was literally just saying this morning. Like, I was explaining to my colleague the podcast and what we talk about in here. And literally, this is what I said. I want to show that you can be a woman in business and have crazy nails, you know?
100%.
That's not exclusive.
100%. The fact that those things became mutually exclusive, or like if you're attractive means that you are not too smart. If you're too feminine, it's not. And then I think we really... need to protest against it, and like
that's what we're doing here.
All of it and do it all and conquer, and still like you can be soft and feminine or whatever you want to be, and also equally powerful and strong. And
yeah. So how would you describe short nails? Well, what is your kind of the color, style, aesthetic you usually go for?
Oh my God, I love really like now since I found Isla and there's like proper nail art available. I really like exploring with textures and things that look impossible, and like crazy colors like silvers and textures and 3-dimensional stuff in this mini canvas I provide to the nail techs. But yeah, I love to experiment with a lot of those things, but sometimes I also love like very minimal, just so they look perfect and polished, and like just a nude color with maybe a touch of something.
Yeah. So you kind of seen some, but I don't think you've seen them all in person yet. So there they are. Just wanted to show them all today.
Oh God, dude.
I think I have a feeling which ones you'll go for. Nevertheless, I'm going to show them all to you, and then we're going to make a choice. So I'm going to apply them today.
Nice.
Which ones would you like to go for?
So impressive. Oh my God. Okay, the thing is I also have to make a wise decision because tomorrow I'm hosting. And I'm wearing this dress. So I really want to keep
What's the color of the dress?
Is silver.
Okay, the silver dress.
So it's a sequin silver dress. I mean, this could work.
I don't know if this is your length and shape.
It's too long, huh? I mean, I love this, but I also love this.
Yeah, so this is what I did. I just took some of those and mixed and matched it. But maybe this could be more like the direction of the dress.
But also this is great. This is also super nice. It has some pink. Honestly, I love this so much about the design of the packaging.
Right, that you can put your fingers in it. Yeah.
See it? So good. So good. Honestly, I think I'm torn between these.
So with these ones, you can also just choose one color. So you can mix it and have both, or just go for pink or purple.
Or should I go full on bedazzle?
I
mean, it is, after all, my birthday party, even though it's not my birthday.
Oh yeah, also, yeah.
I think Should I do this, Teresa?
I love them. I think if you want to go more serious, maybe do these in pink. It's still cute, but a bit less out there than these. Yeah,
100%. I think I'm gonna go with this. Yeah. Maybe we do even the purple because the flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love purple.
All right.
So oh my god! But this is too much fun. Like
good, right?
It's really hard to like. You want to do it all. You want it all.
So I'm just gonna take them out and size them first. And whilst I do that, let's talk a bit more about you because you are so inspiring to me, and I really, from the day I met you, I've been in such awe of everything you do. You're involved in so many projects and businesses, and always look great whilst doing it. And also a mom, so in so many levels I can relate.
We have a lot in common.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, and I really. Find you super inspiring. But for who doesn't know what you do, who is Marjorie? What do you do?
Oh my god, big question. So I'm Marjorie. I'm from Venezuela. That's where I grew up and was raised and born there. And I moved to Germany a while back to do my master's. So I studied architecture. I think it was like the one thing that I thought I could study, given the fact that I love kind of like design and aesthetics, but I was also like a little nerd, and I also love like science and engineering. So I was like, oh, seems like architecture might be the right fit for me. And I did that, and then I came to Germany to do my master's. And I've been here since. As many people who study architecture, by the time I graduated and was faced with the actual kind of like profession, you realize that it's very different from what you thought it was gonna be. Like I think the study is the best, but then the actual thing is very, very different. So it's a very kind of like pragmatic, service-driven industry, whereas when you're studying, it's like extremely creative. So I was like, okay, this is not for me. So what can I do now? And I went into this path in which I was still using my skills that I learned as an architect and doing a bunch of different things like brand experience and all of that. And eventually I became a consultant. That was like a strange journey, but in my head all made sense. And around the same time was the time when I became kind of like part of the Web3 community and really start like kind of like looking into how blockchain technology could change so many industries. And during the job that I was doing as a consultant, I was like, okay, this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity to really do something by yourself. And that's when around 8 years ago, I decided to start my first startup.
Was that always something you wanted to do, like work for yourself?
I did, because, I think I was a pretty good student when I was a kid and also all the way through college, but I was not particularly a good employee. I don't feel like I excelled. And I think for me, the only way to be good at something is to excel and to give the best of my abilities is that I really have to care. It really has to be mine. And like life is too short. So of course there's a period of time where you need to learn and like work for other people. Oh, how cool is this thing? No.
With the steps on it too.
Of course, it's a cube. How amazing. So cool. The coolest nail buff ever. And so that's kind of like how the journey started. And then I've been working kind of like this intersection of technology and culture for the last 8 years. And I started a second startup called the Dematerialized.
Wait, but did you mention how did you get introduced to Web3? Like, was it something, like, what was who exposed you to this?
Yeah, I think, coming from Venezuela, we've been like exposed to everything that can go wrong in terms of politics and institutions. And so I think a lot of countries in Latin America and Africa became quite curious around blockchain technology when it first came out, just kind of like as an alternative to like traditional things. And then something very simple happened in which there was this article in a platform where it says Canadian buys a house against Bitcoin. And we were like, what's Bitcoin? And that was the first kind of like point of contact with the whole the whole technology. Okay, so this looks like something I can do myself.
You're supposed to do it yourself. Today I'm just doing it for you, but I'm not a nail tech, as you know. So the fact that I can do it means that anyone can do it.
So spoiled that you're doing it.
Okay, so you were intrigued by the whole Bitcoin thing. So what was the step from like reading that article to be like, okay, now I'm gonna enter this business?
Enter this business, yeah. I mean, it happened quite slowly. First, like a lot of people like attempting to mine Bitcoin back then was still fairly like uncomplicated in terms of like technology requirements. Anybody could kind of do it. And then when I finished uni in Weimar and moved to Berlin, my then partner, he said, oh, I'm gonna this thing called Ethereum, which we knew because I've done this massive fundraise, is opening an office in Berlin. To this day, kind of like in terms of people building applications in Web3, Ethereum is now kind of like the standard. And that was like, had such a huge community here in Berlin that, yeah, and then slowly, like when kind of like progressed from hobby to my professional career. And when I was working as a consultant, my then boss, who was so incredibly kind to me, he was like, Marjorie, you know so much about Web3. I'm gonna give you all of the Web3 clients. And I was like, me? Are you sure? And then he was like, of course, you know a lot about this. And I was like, okay. And then I think like many other women, there's always this feeling that if you don't feel 100% prepared, you start doubting yourself. And then he was like, no. You got this. You got this. You can do it. And then I was like, okay, let me, like, I can't say no. He's my boss, so I just have to do it. And then, so we had the opportunity of doing a lot of like business implementations of the technology at a very early stage. And that's what we did. So I think by building the solutions for our clients, kind of like it became for me really clear that how this is going to go from like the theory to the actual praxis, and how so many different industries are going to be potentially transformed, and what a privileged position to be in, to be part of something so early and have access to like all of the brains working on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a transition. So in terms of like, there was that part that was kind of like more, idealistic that drew me towards it, but also like a part of me that is, loves video games and digital assets. That was just like, oh, this is great. I can own my digital stuff and have my collectibles.
Yeah.
And also
these
that
worlds
part
just kind of came together.
Exactly. So
what are you doing today? Because that's how it started.
Yes, and how it's going. So I stayed in Luckso, which was the first startup that I was part of, that I started.
You like it?
I love it. Oh my God, it's like a different girl. Like, look at this, before and after. String makeover.
Right?
Wow. This is wild.
Let me start with the other.
Like, no excuses to have bad nails, huh?
Right?
There's no excuses.
Oh, I'm going to make that the tagline. No excuses to have bad nails.
No excuses. Like, honestly, so pretty.
Good.
So, yeah. So I exit Luckso at the end of the summer. I was there almost 8 years, and I have never done anything for that long. And I still working on the Dematerialized, which is our digital products e-commerce. We focus on digital fashion, digital sneakers, all kinds of products that are like metaverse ready. And now I'm also spending some time like collaborating in different other projects with people that inspire me, and investing some time in that, and just I think kind of like also gathering my thoughts after such an intense time. Like, I think, and this, like when you have a startup, it's just like the amount of work you can never anticipate it, and it's like being a parent. You only know once you do it how hard it is, how much work it is. And so now I feel like I spent so many years just like making things work, and now I'm in this phase where I want to like, let's go back to think and come up with new ideas and see what kind of like the next chapter of like whatever
just kind of taking a step back and not like running
100%.
And I mean, we got introduced the end of last year.
Yes.
And I think there was like this immediate, at least from my side, and I think I can speak for both of us, but immediate kind of spark. And it's so rare for me to meet someone, and I said this to you before, that on one hand is like super business savvy, but then also gets the brand and gets what we do and understands like the business and beauty angle. The fashion and beauty angle. And you kind of had that whole package, but also from your side, you kind of immediately, I would almost say, came to the rescue and like helped me. And because I was kind of stuck at the end of last year and I didn't know how to kind of move on and what the next steps would be for Isla. And it felt like you very much made that, because you didn't really know the inside, you didn't really know me yet, you didn't really know the inside of the business yet. But you were immediately kind of like, as if you really had a feeling, it felt right, and you just went with it. Like, is that how you usually operate? Like, are you very intuition driven? Like, and when did you kind of start trusting that, or have you always done that?
Oh my God. I have to say, I felt the same thing about you. I always feel like a bit bad for our mutual friend who introduced us, because I feel like we abandoned him in a way. Like,
shout out, Ruda.
Sorry. He's the best though. But I think it's like very few, doesn't happen too often that you meet somebody that you feel like a proper instant connection. And I think, like we are very different, but we also have a lot of things, like fundamental things in common, which I think is also so special.
Yeah, but you can't really tell that from the first meeting, right?
That is true. I think, honestly, for me, it was like immediate gut feeling. Like, I could tell from the get-go that you were working super hard. Like, that was for me. I was like, well, this woman is working hard. I can tell. And I already knew your brand. I didn't know you, but I knew the brand. And I honestly I was always in awe. And then I knew, wow, there's a person behind it, what is making all of this happen. So I knew you were working super hard. But I always follow my intuition. And I do think there will come a point in the future where intuition will become something that is quantifiable. We will know where it's coming from and how to measure it. But I think it's potentially one of the most reliable like parameters that we have, is when your 100%. Intuition tells you that something is right. And I always been like that since I was a kid. Yeah. And I had a few instances very, very young where I got like myself. I was always a very good kid, but there were moments where like, oh, people are going to this concert or doing these things, and I will decide last minute not to do them. And my parents were like, you're not going? They were like, you're a teenager. Why are you not going? And then something will have happened, or, there was always like, I was always very cool and good in sensing how to protect myself, or, and also with people. So I don't know, I felt like as I became older, I was like, you tend to try to become more rational and like make rational decisions.
Exactly, yeah.
But then I was like, no. I should stick to the thing that I have a lot of data since I'm a child that has worked for me. And I always go with my intuition. And like, I mean, look, this is like less than a year later, and like everything that you have accomplished. And honestly, I think it's so hard to build an amazing brand, and you have done that. And I think it's so authentic to who you are and to the brand. And it's just a testament of like, you're naturally a very cool person, but you're also a very hardworking person, and you have built something that is super special and unique, and you were ahead of a trend. And that's like one of the most difficult things to be able to do, because that means that you have to be slightly of an outlier to be able to like, and go for it. So
I wasn't trying to fish for compliments, but it's more very like,
that is true. It's not a compliment.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. No, but it's more that I feel like, especially, I don't know, it's a very feminine trait, and we get to like, I remember in a previous relationship where I was like, oh, you're always so emotional, but it was just me listening to my intuition about things. Like some things you have to just be rational about. Yes, I agree. But I only recently really started saying it in meetings where I was like, you know what? I don't have a good explanation for it, but my intuition tells me this, and I'm going to stick with it. But it took me
100%.
till last year to be able to be confident enough in a room full of people, with professionals, to be like, I don't know, but my gut feeling is telling me this. And I think, when we met, I could really feel that you also really followed your intuition.
100%.
It went way faster because you already had your cuticles done. Usually I would clean up the cuticles, but yours were already clean.
The girls at Isla took care of me.
Yes, I didn't even unpack the cuticle pusher.
Oh man, but I want it. I'm going to take it to go for Marjorie.
It's all for you. Now, I had actually one more question I really wanted to talk to you about. Like, are you big on like planning, or more in the zeitgeist of now, like manifesting? Like, do you at the beginning of the year, beginning of the quarter, really like plan out your...
Oh my God, I'm such a nerd, and I've been doing this like honestly since I can't
I had
remember.
a feeling.
My friend was joking Daphne because I was asking her like, oh, but where's your mood board for that? And she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, you don't mood board for like
I knew it. We never spoke about this, but I had a feeling.
But I mean, at the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, I do a whole document. It's like,
love that,
25 pages. So I do this thing where I look back at the year and I go month by month.
Yeah.
And they're like, I try to see like not in like a judging way, but I just want to look in retrospective, like what did I did, what did I accomplish, what did I forget that I wanted to do, and then it's kind of like like a checking in, and then setting goals for the next year and for like things that I would like to accomplish, or just vibes that I want to have around me, or like things like that. And I think I always do like collages, and since I was a kid, like I really cut them up, and now I do it all digitally. But I think it's super important to, because even if you forget about it during the year, you kind of like put it out there, and you took the moment to think.
Your unconscious is also just steering towards that goal without you even realizing
100%.
it.
So you have a target, and you're not leaving everything to chance, right? Like there's so many decisions that we have to take that maybe the moment you have to take them, you're in the middle of a stressful time where it's very challenging. But if you kind of like had a vision for how you want things to look like, that will inform how you take decisions. So I'm all about make your mood board, put it into writing, video, images, whatever it is, and make it happen. Because I do feel like there's a part of reality that is really formable, that is really up to us, kind of how is it gonna be, and if we can influence it, we should.
Did you ever, so you've accomplished quite a bit, did you ever imagine it to be like this, like your life?
Interesting. That's such
if you now look back.
I honestly, I think Diane von Furstenberg said this even better. She said like she didn't know what she wanted to do, but she knew the kind of woman she wanted to be. And I always had a feeling of the kind of woman I wanted to be and the kind of life I wanted to conduct. But I grew up in a different country, so a lot of those dreams were taking place in Caracas, which is kind of like strange. Like visually, a lot of those dreams were happening there. But now that I'm here, I think I landed somewhere in the proximity of what I wanted. That's for sure. And a lot of things, like I know my younger self will be like so excited. Like she will be like,
oh my gosh,
yes. The shoes, the handbags,
exactly.
I know a lot of a lot of other things. And my son, like I think some things are definitely better and some things are different. And I think, and sometimes you get surprised and what you get is even better than what you wish for. So I think that's
beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah. How do we feel about the nails?
Honestly, I feel like a new person. I just touched my hair and I did it like this. I feel like so much more chic and elegant, and honestly, like I said, like I'm a short nail person, but when you have long nails, it's
would you say they're long?
I mean, yes, in my world they are long.
Yeah, fair.
I know fair. In the Isla world they might be mid.
No, I'm just curious, you know.
For me they're long, but not too long. Like they're long in a great way, and then your hands, they look immediately
I know,
so beautiful. Like it's like just like a good glam.
Yeah, agreed.
And with the advantage that you don't have to do it every time in the morning. They just like stay.
And also that it doesn't take longer than 10 minutes to apply them.
This is the wild thing. Like this is so impressive.
I think this is really what will get me to keep using them, because I save so much time not being in the salon.
For real. And then you can always like match them to your outfit. If you have like events, if you're going for like, I don't know, like fashion week or graduations or like,
exactly,
you know, a wedding weekend or just life in general. Like you can like style to your liking. And then when I want to remove it, I just like pop them, right?
Yeah, exactly. To make it easier, you put them in a bowl of maybe with water with some oil. Kind of try
to soften them up.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you this one as well. So in case anything comes off,
I get my young kid.
Exactly. You have
so nobody in Berlin has this yet besides the girlies now.
Exactly. Yeah, some close friends that I recorded, but that's it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna give you a hug. Thank you.
You're the best. Thank you, babes. You're the best.
Thanks.